Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay? Those ladies on RHOP are cut throat. We're going to talk about it. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Okay, I got my pom poms in honor of them childish ass women over there on RHOP. Let's talk about it. Bump up the thumbs up first. So, bump up the thumbs up, share the video, all the good things. All right. This is another season that I have been watching, but I did abandon doing the reviews because Mia B. Lion was really getting on my nerves, child. But the reunion is worth talking about. So let's get into it. First up, though, I do want to say thank you to a new subscriber by the name of Wyahome88. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, they said, I never watched Married to Medicine before. So they put that in my review for yesterday. I did that review. They said, I never watched Married to Medicine before, but after watching your review, I had to go back and watch episodes 10 and 11, and you were on point. Okay. So listen, that is probably one of the greatest compliments you can get as a reviewer, because you really want to entertain and paint a picture. And that lets me know that I'm doing it right. I've had a lot of subs tell me that my reviews are better than like the TV show. And I've had cast members too come over and be like, girl, did that look? I had to go back and see what the hell I did. So thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate y'all. Just recently, actually, I had Miss Cornelia, who is Lexi's mother, Chris Fletcher's daughter. I believe that was like Sunday night or Monday. She came over to my IG page and she was like, your page is really insightful. I like your reviews. So thank you. I really appreciate that. That really is a wonderful feeling to know that you are, entertaining people, making people feel good, especially, with YouTube, not all of y'all, I don't want to make a damper on things, but in fact, let me do it this way. There is a lot of amazing men and women on YouTube that do reviews. A lot of them have been very supportive of me. They've sent me messages or given me shout outs, and I want to say thank you to you guys, okay? They've invited me onto their platforms. So thank you to y'all, okay? Instead of saying something negative, why don't I just say what's positive? And we'll let all of those negative things, y'all know who they are. They can just, scoot, you know what I'm saying? While we get into this review right now, okay, we are talking RHOP. This is the first part of the reunion for season 9, okay? This is the aftermath of Karen Huger, the Grande Dame, getting a guilty verdict in her court case for drinking and driving. So 2024, I believe it was March, she wrecked, I believe it was a Maserati, like a 2017 Maserati, hit the median, hit 2 trees, child. Could have, really hurt herself, not been with us anymore. But she is still with us. She is healthy. She did not hurt anyone. But people are asking for punishment. People are asking for severe punishment, prison time, jail time. So I'm assuming that they should be giving us a sentence very soon. But this reunion opens with production, Bravo production. Listen, Bravo production is exquisitely shady, exquisitely shady. So is Andy Cohen, and I'm gonna tell y'all all about it. But they open up saying 12 hours. They show the front of Karen's house, and they said 12 hours after the guilty verdict was issued, Bravo cameras are in Karen Huger's home, and they are asking her questions. They want the real, you feel me? And Karen allowed it. And the first question was, what was your initial reaction to, hearing that you were found guilty? And Karen, who looks like she has the flu and pneumonia and the mumps, I mean, her face is, you can just tell all of her energy is in the sole of her feet. Okay. And she ekes out the words, my heart dropped. My heart dropped. And, I felt bad for her. I know a lot of people were like, who cares? I did feel bad for her, going to jail in your 60s. Child, going to jail at any age, but in your 60s, mm-mm, mm-mm. That's a no-no. Anyway, she ekes that out. And then here's the shady moments, child. Um, Producers are still asking her questions. And while they're doing that, they are playing the police footage, that embarrassing ass police video or videos of Karen drunk off her ass. Okay. Talking about, you know me, I'm the Grand Dame, and Andy Cohen gave me that name. You know Andy Cohen? And the police officer like, no, I don't know Andy Cohen. Okay. And you pipe down. Okay. You pipe down. Your ass is going to jail. You know what I'm saying? All of that. She was talking about how she was the concubine of Thomas Jefferson. They have even Ray in like all of the things that I'm sure her family was like super ashamed to see. But they're still asking her questions about, how she felt. And she said, listen, I take full responsibility. So you hear her saying these words while they're playing that embarrassing footage, every moment of it. I take full responsibility. And then she says, I don't care about me. I care about my family and my children. They are hurting. And then for the first time, you hear her voice like really pep up when she says, but let's be clear, I'm not an alcoholic. What do y'all think about that? Okay, Karen is still, I know a lot of people were hoping that she would take some responsibility. Since the show aired, okay, first season, I believe they've been talking about Karen, hitting the bottle a little bit too hard. Same with Charisse. Is it her name, Charisse? With the champagne room and stuff like that. We've seen these ladies show up for filming where they look like they are, not quite sober. That goes for Ashley as well. Ashley, Karen for sure, Charisse, I believe for sure. All of them have had moments on camera where they just look like they might not be a thou. You know what I'm saying? But she gets all of that out while they're airing that shady footage. And listen, don't come for me, because when I posted that same footage on my IG page, there were so many people saying to me, don't do that, sister. And, you are embarrassing a Black woman. Child, it is forever memorialized on that TV show right now. So I wanted to get that out there. Um, Karen basically finishes that little moment where she has on her Davy Crockett hat. She says, for the youngins who look up to her, who follow her, she says, do as I say, not as I do. And that's pretty much it. Then we get a scene where all the rest of the ladies are getting dressed in their dressing rooms. They're showing everyone's name on the door. And of course, you realize that Karen's name isn't there. So all of the girls are kind of gossiping amongst themselves. Like, oh, did you see Karen? And, see Karen's name? And did you call Karen? Have you talked to her? Do you know if she's showing up? Because they don't know if she's coming or not. And people, in particular, Mia and Ashley, feel like they're going to be robbed if Karen doesn't show up, because they want to get their hooks into her. Mia and Ashley, they have no love for the Grand Dame. Wendy is the only person who is showing Karen like, some respect. She actually tries to call her, and then the call goes to voicemail, and Wendy feels away. You can tell, like, this is, I've been supportive to her all season. Why wouldn't she answer my call? So this is what we're getting behind the scenes. Now everybody's coming out. Of course, Giselle's the first to show up on stage, and everyone looked beautiful, by the way. Jazelle got it right this season. She really does, child. But she got it right. She got her little cutouts in all the right places. Body, oddying. Okay, face is gorgeous. Everything snatched. But she shows up on stage first to have her one-on-one with Andy. Nothing, amazing, just to let people know that this is her house, right? And then the rest of the ladies come onto stage. Mia, who I think said she had a size 12 or 13 foot, somehow trips on the step up. And thankfully, she did not hit the floor, but she really almost took a dive. Okay, that's unfortunate. She caught herself just in time. She looked cute too. All the ladies, in my opinion, looked amazing this season. Then Andy Cohen says, let's start with the elephant in the room. Karen isn't here, okay? And everybody kind of gets a somber look, except for Mia and Ashley. You know how they feel about it. Mia and Ashley basically gives a, okay, like we could care less, right? Kind of smug. That's the best way to put it, a smug look. And then he asked the ladies if they know why she isn't there. And they all chime in saying, no, not really, that kind of thing. Andy then says, well, y'all already know she was found guilty. And the reason why she's not here is because she's checked in to a private recovery center. And he asked their opinions on that. Now, Jazelle is the first to chime in. She's supposed to be, Karen's BFF on this show. And she said, well, as much as we all like to laugh at Karen being in the land of Delulu, she said it's not funny or it's not cute. Wendy makes the comment, I wonder if she's actually checked in because she believes she has a problem or if she checked in to get a lighter sentence, because it's weird she would check in after she was found guilty as opposed to before. Now, when Wendy says that, which was a little shady, Stacey says, Wendy, that's not fair. Okay, don't do that. So, it feels like Stacey's trying to take up for Karen. And Wendy says, wait a minute, don't do that. I'm her friend, and we don't all have to have these cookie cutter cutesy answers. Okay, Miss Pollyanna, I can say what I want. This is my feelings. Now, while she's doing that, Jazelle she has a very weird look on her face. I won't even say weird. She's staring at Wendy like, how did you make it to season 9? Like, your ass really shouldn't be here right now. And that's not a joke. Y'all can go back and look at her. And when she finally gets enough of Wendy, she says, well, anyone would check themselves into rehab to get a lighter sentence, right? She says it, and Andy Cohen, aka Joe Blow himself, it's like, I know, right? Like both of them play Wendy like she's dumb. Okay, okay. And y'all know that Andy is Joe Blow. Don't play with me. After doing that, Andy says, well, I got a surprise for y'all. And well, hold on. Before that even happens, they start having their little conversation. Ashley wants her moment. Ashley, who really was not a friend to Karen at all, was a part of every conversation that was dogging Karen out. She pulls a framed picture of Karen from behind her back and said, well, I kind of figured she wasn't going to come, so I brought this. And she puts it on the couch. She's sitting second to Jazelle. She puts it between her and Jazelle. And Andy said, well, how do you feel about Karen not taking first chair? You're putting her beside you and Jazelle. And Jazelle said, yes, exactly. She tries to put her on a table, and Ashley said, oh, no, that's my picture. Give it back. And Andy said, okay, what's with the childishness? Well, child, that's why I got my pom-poms in. It is childish, okay? That's when Andy says, well, you guys, Karen did film a message for the reunion. And people are kind of like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? Everybody except for Jazelle. I got the feeling that Jazelle knew. But Karen comes back on screen and she is all cleaned up. Okay. She looks a lot thinner though. Very thin in the face, kind of gaunt. But she is very cleaned up. And she says, I am moving forward with treatment for taking antidepressants and alcohol. Okay, so she's letting us know it's a little deeper than, the alcohol, and even suggesting a lot of people thought that I was just being, a drunk or an alcoholic. I'm actually suffering from depression. So that's how she's framing all of this. Okay. And while she's doing this, Mia be lying of all people, child, is like, like really just being like full of facial expressions, like I'm doing right now, like I'm doing right now, but full of facial expressions, like, girl, depressants, you know what I'm saying? She's not speaking, it's all facial expressions. Jazzy screams out, "Oh my God." Like she didn't know. That's not Jazzy, it was Kay. Kay screams out, "Oh my God," because she didn't know. So Karen continues that she wants to thank the people who helped her through the process. And she starts by thanking her BFF, Jazelle. She said that, "Jazelle, when you sent me the flowers with the note that said 1 step at a time, that really touched my heart." She said, "I am proud of our friendship outside of this show." Okay, letting people know me and Jazelle has had our moments, but we are two light-skinned sisters. You know what I'm saying? We locked in this thing on Real Housewives of Potomac. The next person she thanks is Kay. She said, "Kay, I appreciate you. You came through." And she said, "You told me, Karen, you are going to handle this thing." She said, "That's right, Kay. I am handling it." Okay. Then she thanks Jazzy, who's not even on stage. Is it Jazzy or JC? I usually get it confused. I think it's Jazzy. She said, "I also want to thank you for all the special notes that you sent to me." And then she leaves everybody else, all the other castmates, hanging. And she said, "I want to thank Candace, even though she is not here with us anymore. I want to thank her for being a soldier." Okay. Now, y'all know Candace, I think TMZ had caught up with her after everything happened. And she was like, "I am praying for Karen. I love Karen. We all love Karen." She had nothing but good things to say. But she said Candace was a soldier, whether she was on the show or not. And you could see Ashley's face like, "Well, you're not going to thank me." Mia was like, "You okay?" Wendy and Stacy in particular. Stacy looked like she did tear up. She teared up. She looked a little embarrassed, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I believe Karen brought Stacy to the show. And Wendy just looked hurt. She looked hurt. Okay. They were all just kind of shocked though at the end of the day. After this, Miss Gizelle Bryant, who never cries, who never shows any emotion, and y'all know people be trying to get at Gizelle all the time, gut punch her, make her, express some sort of feeling. This one starts crying. She needs tissue. So this is the second time we've seen her cry in the reunion. The first time was with her father in his passing. Now it is with her good friend, Karen, and she starts crying. And Andy's like, "Well, wait a minute, child. Don't anybody say a word, because we don't get moments with Gizelle crying." So he's like, "Gizelle, let's go. What you feeling, child? What's going on?" And she's just like, "Well, Karen is my friend." Now she's claiming her. "Karen is my friend." And she says, "I have seen too many times to count, Karen and her reckless behavior." Still turning the knife a little bit, right? And she said, "But my prayer for her has always been for her to get help." That's what Gizelle says. Wendy is now sitting there just stumped. And Andy says to her, "Well, Wendy, this is surprising." He said, "Hold on. I had to catch my place up on my notes, child." But Andy says, "Well, Wendy, you didn't seem to have a reaction. What's going on with you?" And she's like, "Really?" And then Mia chimes in. She was like, "Well, she's been riding for her and she's not going to thank her for blah, blah, blah." And Wendy says, "Well, I wouldn't have put it quite like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about me. It was about her. However, out of all the women on this stage, I was the only one who really was positive and supported Karen throughout this whole thing. And not only did I do that, I checked everybody that was making fun of where she was in this journey, including her BFF, Jazelle." Okay. So when she says that, she also looks at the picture. She points at that picture that's sitting between Jazelle and Ashley. And she said, "That is not my friend." And she said, I kind of knew it when I saw it play it on screen. The thing Karen said to Stacy, which was, Wendy's not a girl's girl, so watch out for her, which was a weird thing to say. I wouldn't say that Wendy's not a girl's girl. I'm not sure why Karen said that. But she said, when I saw that, I thought that was weird. And what just happened, what just played out in that message, proves to me that she's not my friend. So I felt bad for Wendy for her to have to see that. Okay. Child, this was a whole episode of just people falling out and being cruel to each other, to be honest. Because after Wendy says that, you know Wendy's hurting, right? Even if she doesn't want to show it outwardly, leave it to Miss Jazelle, who just needed a tissue just 2 seconds before to say, well, Wendy, how did you not know? She told you that to your face. She tried to get you kicked off the show. She ain't your friend. I told you that too. Like, she's really like, if you ever needed a moment, child, okay, not only is she not your friend, I saw you quit your job. You quit your job and all the things. Go on ahead and get the hell off this show too. You're not working on the news station anymore. You're not a professor anymore. You don't need to be a part of Potomac anymore. Oh, Jazelle, every once in a while, it's okay to just shut up. Okay. But Andy let this little scene play out. Even when he was like, when she was like, well, she's not your friend. And it was like, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's into the girls going back and forth a little bit. After this little scene, they take the moment to show us Wendy's season, right? And what was going on with her and her family, Eddie's family in particular. And we find out that Wendy's rich, which we already knew, right? She's talking about how she has a trust fund. She said, all of my kids have trust funds that they're going to get no matter what. But I also have added incentives for my kids if they do certain things, like get a master's degree in this, or speak Igbo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is their native tongue. Or if my daughter, pledges my sorority, she gets an extra bonus. I'm like, oh, baby. You let them know, honey. Let them know that you got it, okay? If y'all hoes are jealous, it's because I got it. Now, while she's saying all this, Ashley, who's broke as a joke, says, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that. And even Jazelle chimes in and says, y'all don't have Wendy's money. Don't play. But it was funny to watch. It definitely was. What else goes on? They also talked a little bit about Jazelle and Wendy's relationship, how they seem to be much closer. We all know that that was fake. If nothing else told us that that was fake, that scene right before where Jazelle is staring a hole into Wendy to let her know nobody really likes you, let us know that, okay? So, again, Jazelle seems to want Wendy more than anybody to feel betrayed. So Andy's asking her questions like, how's the Happy Eddie product line? Y'all know the Happy Eddie product line is CBD and other feel goods, okay? Wendy said it's doing amazing. And then that is Jazelle's time to say, well, I know that you and Stacy seem to be getting closer. Did she tell you that she is going to come out with her own Happy Eddie line? Because if there's one thing I need you to know right now is that nobody likes you. Wendy looks over at Stacy and goes, no. And Stacy says, no, I'm not. She went, oh, so you didn't tell her? You didn't tell her that you met with someone and that you told them you were a celebrity and you'd like to come out and do X, Y, and Z? Stacy says, no, I didn't. Next thing I know, Wendy said, well, I hope that isn't true. Jazelle says it is true, and don't be surprised next season when she's actually promoting it. Stacy just looked like, Stacy, are you doing this? You should have just said it, because at this point, Jazelle is going to rake all of y'all through the coals. She doesn't like Wendy, and she's going to do everything that she can to let her know it, okay? This little 9th season, she simply did because production told her to, and we all know it. And to be honest, Andy was being a little snaky too when he says to Wendy, well, didn't you do the same thing to Karen? He tells Wendy, didn't you do the same thing to Karen with your candle line? And she said, no, I had the candle line first. It was Karen who came behind me. And he went, oh, child, what is wrong with y'all? Anyway, now Kay chimes in. I guess she feels like she's not getting enough camera time. So she tells Stacy, listen, I think it was wrong of you to go back and tell what Karen told you about Wendy not being a girl's girl. Just because you was, on the outs with Karen doesn't mean that you divulge every little moment you've had with her about the other cast members. And Stacy tries to clear it up like that's not true. I'm not the snake in the grass you guys are trying to make me, because everybody has this Pollyanna, sense of Stacy and her personality, which we should know by now is not the case, because that TJ mess, okay, if she's messing with him, she's not as Pollyanna as we think. But Stacy hits her with that. Or excuse me, Kay hits Stacy with that little message saying to Wendy, maybe Stacy isn't your friend. You know what I'm saying? And then Jazelle looks over at Kay and say, well, girl, you might want to watch your back with Karen too, because she grooms the new people. Anybody that's coming in new, the young girls, she'll groom them and try to get them on her side, on her team. And then Wendy says, yeah, she does do that. She has this mother goose kind of way of participating with the younger cast. And if she can't mother you, then she doesn't want anything to do with you. Kay says, listen, I will always have a special place in my heart for Karen, because after I got hit in the face with a champagne bottle, it was Karen and only Karen who was checking on me all the time and making sure that I was good. So I hear what you hoes are saying, but back off, basically. I like Karen. Now, I have to say, good for Kay, because one of y'all got to be solid. You know what I'm saying? The way y'all switch alliances and friendships, child. Oh, just not good. But anyway, now we got Jazzy on the stage. Okay, Jazzy comes on stage. She's letting everyone know that she is engaged to be married to her football playing boyfriend. I think his name is Darius. Anyway, he played for the Chiefs. Now he is playing for Dallas. She comes on. She has this beautiful invitation. It looks like it's a velvet cover. When you open it, it's a mirror and it gives all the information about the invite. She gives this directly to Andy, or she passes it down to Andy. Andy's like, oh, this is great. Like I'm, honored to be invited. Is the rest of the cast invited? She said everybody on the cast has been invited to her wedding, which is good. Okay. Also showing that she is solid. She's not playing favorites and none of that stuff. But, child, Andy Cohen, who is shady boots. Okay. Andy says, well, I have a question from one of the viewers. Now, listen, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the questions from the viewers don't come from the viewers. They come from production. I know this because I follow another content creator who said that he had called in to watch What Happens Live. And he said, I called in with my own question, but the production team said, this is what we want you to ask. So he said, I didn't even get to ask. I think he was talking to Kenya Moore when he called in and asked the question. He said, I didn't get to ask my questions. He said, just so you know, these questions that they say come from viewers are fake. So Andy's holding this cue card, or this, Post-it card. And he says, so Jazzy, this is a question from a viewer, and he gives some fake ass name, Monique or something like this. He said, the viewer wants to know, what is it like to be a side chick and take someone else's family? And then he said, and as a side note, they also want to know from you, Mia, what's it like being a professional side chick? I don't know. That was shady to me for that, gay white man to be asking that of those Black women. I don't know. It just felt uncomfortable. I know that a lot of people let Andy Cohen slide, okay? But I'm here to tell you that those questions came from him. They came from him, or his production team who pays him, or he pay, however that works. and that never, ever, ever in a million years could Carlos King get away with asking that same exact question. So this is what I mean, without getting, a petition pushed to get him the hell up off that platform. So Carlos, you need to start asking questions from quote unquote viewers, okay? Anyway, sorry, I had to do a nice hearty laugh. Stacy says, let's be clear. I am not a side chick. I am the whole production. Okay, baby? Like, don't play with me. And I was like, I know you want to ask for that damn invitation back. I know you do, because I would. Okay. And this is where Andy takes creative license, because it definitely wasn't on that cue card. He said, with all due. Okay, not all due respect. He didn't put the respect on it. He said, with all due. He said that man had a whole girlfriend and family when he was being friends with you. Shade. And he knows this, Jazzy, because you told all of those details over there on Carlos King's platform. So he was like, listen, I saw the tape, child. That man had a whole family. A family, when he said he wanted to be friends with you. And she said, unbeknownst to me, like, what do you want me to do about it? This ring on my finger and that invitation says, we're getting married. I don't care what happened in that relationship, okay? And everybody just kind of looked like, okay, look, sister girl, people are asking because they're basically saying, do you trust him to, do right by you, since he couldn't do right by the other one? She gave some lame, when I met him, even she told me that they weren't together, but that's not true. That's not what you said in that little interview you did with Carlos King, girl. I watched it. Okay. Right now we jump to Ashley. And of course, inquiring mind wants to know, is she finally divorced from Michael after 7 long years of separation? Okay, that's what it feels like to us. And she said, well, it's not official, but I signed my part and Michael signed his part and it's been given to Maryland. So we're just waiting for the judge to sign off on everything. And everybody's like, okay, girl. And then he was like, so are you getting, child support, alimony? She said, I'm getting child support, but I will not be getting alimony because I signed off on that in my prenup. So basically the prenup was honored. Michael gets to live and, be a hoe and, live his best bisexual life, I guess, allegedly. That's when Andy Cohen asked Stacy, how about you, Stacy? Are you getting alimony or is it just the opposite for you? She said, yeah, I get alimony, but no child support. Why wasn't child support offered? Like, it's his child. What is this about? Anyway, child, even though this is 2025, women are still out here driving the slow bus when it comes to these relationships. I know that everybody keeps saying things like, we know better and women shouldn't and blah, blah, blah. Girl, no, that's not the case. People are still falling for the okey doke. And Miss Stacy definitely did, child. Then Mia chimes in and says, well, my divorce is almost final too. We're just waiting for the judge to sign off on it, to which everyone in that space, everyone on the couches, and I feel like maybe even a couple of people in production, screams out to Mia, liar, liar. Mia, I'm so embarrassed for you. Anyway, Mia looks like, what? And Andy Cohen, to drive the knife in even further, says, well, let's get back to Ashley. Let's get back to Ashley, child. Nobody asked you them questions. You ain't even got to lie right now. This ain't about you. So now Andy Cohen decides to take his shade over to Ashley, and he's asking her about GNA, which is Jazelle and Ashley's website, right? And it's supposed to be an apparel line. I think it was Jazzy who named it Gangsters and Alcohol. Either way, Andy Cohen said, well, here's He pulls out a cue card and he's like, Raven from, California wants to know, why is your website like not functional? There's no fashions on it. It's just a bunch of pictures of you and Jazelle. Like, was this a storyline? Because this all seems like fake fraud to me. And y'all know we pay y'all way too much money for y'all to be having these fake, phony, lying ass storylines. That website don't work. So he's calling her out on it. It had nothing to do with Raven from California or whatever made up name they gave. Ashley trips up over every word she speaks in this moment. Well, yeah, and Ashley loves to talk. Yeah, well, it's not that. We now Jazelle's trying to join in. Yeah, we're trying to, take it to we're re-strategizing. Child, you got caught is what you did. Y'all better figure this out, because right now you are lame. And Ashley, since you are not getting alimony, you need this job, girl. And anyway, moving on. Jazelle is under a little bit of pressure to give something different. So she apologizes. Well, we saw her on screen apologize to all the ladies she kicked out of the GNA event. And she apologized to them again, kind of. Again, Andy Cohen is like, this is a different Jazelle, because you don't apologize, okay? You don't cry, you don't show emotion, you don't apologize to people, even when you are as wrong as two left shoes. And Jazelle says, well, I'm turning a new leaf. All right. Now, before Jazzy leaves the stage, I believe it is Ashley. She says, why don't you tell us what went down between you and Mia in Miami? And this is where we find out that not only does Mia be lying real bad, but she is also a flake to the core of her soul. Okay, so she invited Jazzy and Stacy. She said, I need y'all to fly from Maryland all the way down to Miami to celebrate the last year before I turn the big 5-0. Is that what it was? Something, either the end of her 30s or the end of her 40s, I believe 40s, child, just based on the face, okay? But she said she wanted to, celebrate, and she invited the only two cast members, Jazzy and Stacy. So they're all excited. They think this is a black tie event or black and white event. So they got hair, makeup, all kinds of expenses, including the flight, the hotel, all of these expenses they incurred to come down to Miami to celebrate with Mia. And when these ladies get there, they let her know, Mia, we are in the building. We are here in Miami, girl. Where are you? Can we meet up before the event? Mia's not responding. Well, actually, Mia is responding to them at that beginning stage, because I believe it's Jazzy or Stacy gives Andy Cohen her phone to let Andy Cohen know, I want you to see how flaky this heifer actually is. Like, she is no good to her very soul. So Andy Cohen is reading off the text messages. He's like, well, you're engaging with them. You're letting them know that you're glad that they're there, all the good things. The dinner starts at 8 o'clock. Jazzy and Stacy arrive. They are the only two people at this restaurant. And I guess they wait a good hour or so, and there is no Mia, and there's no one else either, I'm assuming. So they're just sitting there like, well, what are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to go? They're texting Mia. Mia is not responding. You had them ladies hop a flight, leave their children, buy all this expensive stuff to participate with you, and you didn't even show in another state? Nasty work. Mia's lying the entire time. No, that's not what happened. I was only an hour late, according to, I guess, Jacqueline, who's supposed to be her good friend from childhood, that, has also, engaged in some other things with her. Mia didn't get to the actual restaurant until 11 o'clock. But they're sitting there like this. It was despicable. It was despicable. We don't fool with her anymore. This woman, Mia, jumps up. Okay, okay. I made a mistake. Of course, I was late. It's my birthday. It wasn't even your birthday, was it? Anyway, Andy is like, well, damn, Mia, that's pretty horrible. According to either Jazzy or both of them, Jazzy and Stacey, they said apparently something went down between her and Ink, and she was so devastated she couldn't even return a damn text message to say, hey, y'all, I'm okay, or I'm so sorry. Nothing. She ends up texting them the next day as if the text message isn't going to give them a timestamp. So she sends them a text the next day in the afternoon, like, where are you guys? Where are you guys? Dumb, dumb. Ends up getting up, running off stage, crying, talking about she can't take this. They wrap up for the first part of the reunion. Now everybody's in their rooms. It looks like Jazzy and Stacey are talking to each other about what went down. Mia ends up walking into their room and apologizing and saying, hey, is there any way you guys can forgive me? I was going through a lot. They were like, well, we're going through a lot too, girl. What is going on with you? And they basically say, well, we're not in a space to receive it right now. And she said, fine, fine. And then she acts like she has to leave the building. So she's literally like walking outside, mic'd up. A producer is following her like, where are you going? What do you think you're doing? I just got to go. I just got to go. Drama. Okay. I think actually Wendy says at some point when she's on stage crying, this is Mia's MO. When she can't get what she wants, she starts crying. She can pack them nasty ass tears, okay, into a thermos and drink them because we could care less. Anyway, that is basically how it ends. And Mia is back on stage in the second part of the reunion. So we know it again was all drama. But outside of that, that's how it ends, you guys. I don't know. I have to say, those women are a little more mature than a lot of other casts. And they're the most childish for sure. But y'all talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, please. And thank you. Also hit that like button, share the video, follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY, and I will check you all on the next one. Bye-bye.